Hi, today I'm going to be going over the WSU Club Event Manager, or CEM, made by Shira, Jared, Mike, Ben, and Avery. Here's a quick introduction to our software. First off, let's talk about the problem. Currently, it's difficult to have an advertisement for any club or events as there's so many different applications. Therefore, there's no real central application to help find the events that you're looking for. Not only that, we're getting bombarded with emails from the university and college, and there's no way to filter based on interest or clubs that you've already joined. Not only that, it's hard to locate the information of the event manager. Currently, what's being done is there's a Discord channel that allows you to join different clubs. There's also the registered student organization, but both are kind of outdated. Not only that, we're getting tons of emails, and there's also an Instagram and Facebook page, and sometimes even a Twitter, but again, you have to find the club that you want to join first. And there's posted events throughout the school, but those are also hard to find. The solution, our application. It helps you advertise your posters and flyers through a template or by uploading a file. You're able to see all the clubs. There's no more need for emails. You can based on joined clubs, and you can search for the clubs or events based on your interests or by name. You can also contact the coordinator or other people. Our motivation is to help WSU students find clubs, connect WSU students with organizers, create a central application to find these events, inform WSU students of events and happenings around campus, and allow for filtering. Our target users are therefore WSU students and faculty, especially those who want to be involved in clubs.
So here is our early data gathering. So in our contextual session processes and environment, we really wanted to go through 5 contextual inquiries to learn more really about the processes that event organizers go through to create an event, promote them, etc., as well as what are users looking for when they are looking for events or clubs, to really understand how are users currently trying to find and choose events to attend and clubs to join. So we're talking about some of the problems that we found here. And so the participants include 5 participants. One's an event coordinator for ACM club. The second one's a president for Girls Who Code. Third one is an electrical engineering student. They would act as the user, not as a event organizer. Fourth year is the president of Resident RSO, which would be an event organizer. Fifth one is a mechanical engineering student who would act like a user. So we're getting all sides of the spectrum here. We decided to ask 5 research questions that would give us an insight as to the problem that our application could solve. Really, we think there's a problem, but we want to understand, hey, is our application really going to fill the needs that currently exist? So we did this by asking these questions through Zoom to 5 total participants, of whom including club presidents, users, and event coordinators, across which 7 different registered student organizations or clubs were represented. So we had many different outcomes and targets for this study, but I wanted to really highlight a few of the following in particular, including just the facts that people were really looking for users to be able to communicate directly with an organization or event organizer associated with an organization, and also to make it much easier for events to be advertised and shared with users to find, effectively targeting the events and clubs towards the right demographic of users so that the most reach was gained, as well, because there's a balance of giving events too early in time that people may forget about them. We want to provide alerts so that event organizers don't have to wait till the last minute to announce an event, because people may then have overlapping other conflicts. So overall, some key findings we found were that really a unified system of club information, meeting times, and organization was seen as really useful in comparison to existing forms of communication and organization as well. Organization, currently there's many different platforms that people use. And we also saw just generally the theme that clubs go through when making an event is the process of first brainstorming, then promoting their event, communication as to details and updates and changes, planning events, and much more. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to the software demo and core tasks.
Hi, I'm going to be now going over the core tasks. So here is the main screen of the of our application. The first task asks you to log in and then look through all the events and find the first and the last event. Since they're in chronological order, the first event would be the social hour, but you can continue scrolling to see all the other events on the screen. You can also scroll down to find any upcoming events, and this would help you find the last event. And again, since they're in chronological order, you could just go to the very, very last one and find that the JavaScript basics is our last event. Now, what you're able to do is you're able to share an event. So you can go to any event that you want, for instance, a Crimson Code hackathon. You can press share and you'd want to share it with your friend John. And there we go, that completes our second task. Now to move on to the third task, which is creating an event. In order to create an event, you would need to go to the user's profile page. Once you're there, you're able to create a new event. In this case, you're able to pick a template or upload your own flyer. And for instance, I want this template, and then you fill all the information about Docker, scroll down to save the information and see the preview of it. And if you like it, you could save it, and then eventually you can post it. Once it's posted, you're able to share the event with any of your friends or other social media. Our next task is going to the messages and messaging a new person named Peter Hartwig. So to do this, you'd go to the add button, then you'd go to the new private message to message just Peter Hartwig, and you could type a really cute message for him and then send the message. Once this is completed, we can see that the message is on the screen. Lastly, our last task is to search for the ACM. So you go to the search under the taskbar, then you can press on the search bar, and then you can type in ACM, and boom, there's all the events. And over here, again, scroll down, and you can see that the first event is the hackathon logo competition. And that's the end of our application.
So next up, we have usability report. So for the usability report, it was broken up into 3 sections. We had the consent form / background information, general testing, and participant feedback. So we had 5 total participants who all gave general background information about themselves. So we knew what kind of the demographic of our project was going to be. And all of these users were had some sort of club or leadership background. So in terms of general testing, the users went through each one of our tasks for the prototype, and at the end gave their kind of overall feedback on what they thought of the application and things that we can improve on. So going over kind of the methodology of it all, we had kind of our procedure, which conducted over Zoom. We had 5 tasks, which was view events, share events, create new event, message a user, and search for a club. So each of those core tasks that we talked about earlier, the users also went through that and found issues with that. So going forward, we have task 1, which was view events. Basically, there was 2 main problems that we found with both severity scope of 1. And this being users struggled with the scroll bar and users being uncertain how to find dates. So as you can see here, we have the problem, the user time, and then the severity and the scope. So up next, we'll show the first user having a issue with the scroll bar. Next, we have task 2, task 2 being share events. We had 1 problem with this, and this was being users may be uncertain if flyers have been shared successfully. This was a severity of scope of 3, and there was only 1 user that had that issue. So here's the video of that. Task 3, we have users may have difficulty finding the create new event button. And after successfully creating a new event, users were unable to locate the flyer they had created on the club page. So the first problem, we had a severity and a scope of 1, and the second problem, we had a severity and a scope of 2. So here's a video of that. And task 4, we had some users had a hard time determining where the private message button was located. This was a problem for 4 users, but we only gave it a severity and a scope of 2. And so here's a video of a user having an issue with that. Task 5 and our final task, all users are unable to navigate away from the search page without first completing a search. So we had 4 users have this problem, and we thought the severity and the scope were both a 1 for this, as not having a back button or a way to get out of the search page is a bit of a problem, especially for a user, since it's kind of confusing not knowing what to do next. So here's a video of a user having an issue with the search button. Finally, we have our usability study results. So the average score for our feedback was about an 8.6 out of 10. We had 4 9s and 1 7. The next question was the overall impressions. Overall, all was positive feedback. All participants stated they would highly recommend this application to their peers, which is a great sign. That means our prototype was semi-intuitive. In terms of intuitive aspects, we got feedback on the scrolling, messaging, searching, and homepage features. All users said these were good features. However, in terms of suggestions, we did have better search UI. So, that search button not being, having a back button included with it, better event placement, basically just meaning those templates that we have the users do in task 3, have that and be in a more intuitive spot as doing it in the event page was a little bit confusing for the users. Dates on the homepage for each event. So on the homepage, there's no event dates, which doesn't necessarily tell the user when the event is going to happen. So having those on the homepage would make it more helpful for them to figure out where everything was at. And yeah, that's everything for our usability study.
Proposed design changes. To address some of our findings, these will be the changes we will make to the application. First, users found it difficult to find and create the event page on their first use of the application. This occurred with all 5 of our participants for the study. The navigation required the user to go to the organization's page and select Create New Event. However, they had needed to click through and search multiple of our application pages to find the Create New Event button. So it was clear that there was a lack of signage to help the user navigate and find this page. Our solution for this was to follow a cultural constraint and design choice of the Instagram application, where we have added a button to our main navigation to be able to directly navigate to the event flyer creation page. Secondly, users found it difficult after creating an event to recognize and locate the event that they had created. This issue was recognized by one of our participants after completing the event flyer creation task. As they were creating the event, once they had created the event, they were shown the organization's page and required to look through the events on that page to locate the flyer that they had created. We believe that this could be improved through some simple navigation changes to better improve the application's feedback to the user. So as such, when a user creates an event flyer, they are directly shown the share page of that flyer after it has been created. Finally, it was pointed out by one of our users that the search page lacked any navigation and signifiers as to how to directly navigate away from the search page after using it or during the time that they were viewing it. This lack of navigation caused a failure of the design mapping. Only submitting search entries would navigate away from this page. Part of the mapping of our application is that there is a main taskbar used for navigation present through almost all of our application to provide consistency for user recognition and overall improved natural mapping. This was included in the page, as well as a dedicated return button for users to recognize. This provided a multiple scoped approach to solving this problem. And that is all for our application's usability study. I hope you found this video insightful into the development and use of the CEM application, and thank you again for your time.